have reached Red Steele's Awesome Toy Collector Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing Transformers Legacy Skullgrin. Transformers Legacy Skullgrin. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front here, to display, we're showing you both the figure and all its accessories inside. On top of the packaging here, you have the Transformers Legacy logo. In the corner here, you have an 8+, which is the age requirement for this figure. In the other corner here, you have the Takara Tomy Transformers Generations logo. Alongside here, it says Transformers. In the middle, you have this beautiful illustration of Skullgrin in his Cybertronian tank mode. Then over here, the Deluxe symbol along with Skullgrin. Below all that, you have the Transformers Legacy logo. In the corner, you have the Hasbro emblem. And down here, it says it is a Deluxe class figure. Then on the side of the packaging here, you have two more beautiful illustrations of Skullgrin in his robot mode. Then on the other side of the packaging here, you have this beautiful montage of all the Decepticons and Legacies, starting with Megatron, Dragstrip, Iguanus, Thundercracker, and Kickback. Over here, you have a picture of Cybertron. Below all that, you have the Transformers Authentic logo, and on the very bottom here, you have the Transformers Legacy logo. Then on the back of the packaging here, in the very corner, you have Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. And over here, you have the Decepticon symbol along with Skullgrin. In the middle here, you have all the figures featured, such as Skullgrin in his robot mode and Skullgrin in his Cybertronian tank mode. Over here, you have a QR code, and once you scan that QR code, it takes you right to a website where you can read Skullgrin's tech spec. Then over here, you have the Hasbro emblem. Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Skullgrin. Skullgrin was released on November 11th, 2022 with the suggested retail price of $24.99, and he was available at all major retailers. Skullgrin was released along with the other Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Wave 3 figures, Crankcase, Point Blank, and Dead End. Skullgrin is a Generation 1 inspired figure that converts into a Cybertronian tank mode in 20 steps. His accessories include 2 sword blasters and instructions. Skullgrin stands 5.5 inches tall, and he is meant for fans ages 8 and up. I'm gonna go ahead and convert Skullgrin from his robot mode all the way to his Cybertronian tank mode. But the first thing you always want to do before you transform any of your Transformers, you want to remove all their weapons and accessories. I'm going to take a sword blaster, put that off to the side. I'm going to do that same thing with this one. I'm going to take the sword blaster, and I'm going to put this off to the side. Here's the first step of the transformation. Then once you turn Skullgrin all the way around, there's a little tail piece right here. You have the hinge joint right up here. Let's go ahead and flip that piece up just like that. Here's step number 2. You have Skullgrin's fist right there and right there. Top of his fist, you have a hinge joint right there and right there. So you just go to the fist and flip it right in the forearm just like that. Do that to the other side to that fist. Flip it right in the forearm just like that. This is step number 3. Then once you take these cannons right here, you slightly flip them out just like that. And just like that. Step number 4. You want to turn Skullgrin all the way around again? And where the bicep meets the shoulder, you have a swivel joint. You want to take this arm piece now, you want to turn it towards Skullgrin just like that. Go and do it to the side, you get this arm piece where the bicep meets the shoulder, you have a swivel joint. You want to turn the arm in just like that. Then step number 5, you have Skullgrin's horns right there and right there. You have a swivel joint right there and right there. You want to bring these horns in just like that. Step 6. You want to take Skullgrin's head now, you want to bring it up just like this. Then step number 7, you have this chest piece right here. On the very bottom, you have a hinge joint. Just want to go and take this plate and bring it down just like that. Step number 8. You want to turn the Skullgrin all the way around. You have this whole back piece right here. You want to flip it up. We got a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to make sure the head clears this hole right here. So as you're flipping it up, you got to push the head through so that it goes all the way through just like that. Then step number 9. You have this pin right here. You have this weight piece right here. Okay, we'll just go and slide this all up just like that. Then step number 10, you got a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to bring these arm pieces. You got a tab, you got portholes in the middle. You want to bring them all together so they all meet in the middle, just like that. Step number 11. You want your Skullgrin all the way around? You have these horns right here. You want to go flip these horns up just like that. You have this chest plate now. You hinge joint right there. You want to take this chest plate now. You want to close it up just like that. This step number 12. With this whole top piece right here, there's a hinge joint right there. You want to go and bend it back just like that. This step number 13. You have these leg pieces. You want to make sure that this plate piece is facing forward just like that. You just want to take this leg now. You want to bend that up just like that. Do that to the other side. Take this leg now and bend it up just like that. Step number 14. You want to turn Skullgrin all the way around. On the back of his leg, you'll see a couple tank treads right there and right there. On the back of the knee, you see a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to take this tank tread. You want to flip it up just like that. Go into it to the other side, take this tank tread and flip it up just like that. This is step number 15. You have the hinge joint right there and right there. Then we'll take this tank tread, you want to flip it out one more time, just like this. Go into it to the other side, take that tank tread, now flip it up just like this. This is step number 16. You have Skullgrin's heels right there and right there. Top of his heel, you have a tab right there and right there. And inside of the leg, you have a porthole right there and right there. Or flip that foot so that heel goes right into that tab just like that. Do that to the other side, flip that foot in so the heel tabs into place just like that. This is step number 17. We'll turn Skullgrin back around again. On the top of the thigh, you'll see a couple tabs right there and right there. On the inside of the leg, you'll see a couple double jointed hinges right there and right there. You'll want to clasp this thigh right into the leg, tab it right into place just like that. Go and do it to the other side, take that thigh and clasp it right into the leg just like that. Then step number 18, right between the legs you see a couple of tabs and portholes. You just want to take everything and tab it in place just like that. So step number 19, you want to turn Skullgrin all the way around. You get those treads now. You want to go and turn it so the treads are facing on the outside just like that. Do that to the other side, take this tank tread and turn it so it's facing just like that. Because the 20th and final step, you get a couple portholes right there and right there. On the tank tread, you have a couple tabs right there and right there. You want to go and flip this whole piece down. So you go and tab that tread right into that arm piece just like that. Do that to the other side. Take this tread and just tap it right into place just like that. And now you have Skullgrin in this full Cybertronian tank mode. They have Skullgrin in the Cybertronian tank mode, and on my display table, so we'll go over some of his plate features and accessories first by talking about his blasters. And according to the instructions, there's a way to arm Skullgrin while he's in his vehicle mode with these blasters. You do that because on a blaster where you have 5mm peg, on the tank treads here you have 5mm porthole right there and right there. According to the instructions, they say plug this blaster right in that first porthole just like that. Do that to the other side, take that blaster and plug it right in that first porthole just like that. And now you have Skullgrin armed while he's in his vehicle mode. Very, very cool transformation, but I feel that they could have done a little bit better in concealing a lot of the robot parts. Because I mean, it was 20 steps of transformation. I mean, a lot of the robot parts are still very prominent. You can see the legs right there, you can see the feet, and the chest plate. I mean, with the Generation 1 version of Skullgrin, it had kind of a sleeker, futuristic look. I did not realize it was supposed to be a tank. Now that I know that this is a Cybertronian tank, I kind of see the turret right there with the tank treads right back here. But it has that futuristic look where it can fly also, because you get those wings right here from the blaster. And that's where I say that the blaster plays in the part of the transformation, because as you can see right here, it is part of the transformation. Put it right back in. But I have to say, I do favor the Generation 1 version over the Legacy version. You know, because Legacy, like I said, had 20 steps of transformation. Could have done a better job concealing a lot of robot parts. But nonetheless, it's a pretty cool figure, and they did something a little different with this version of Skullgrin, which I'll get into in a moment, where they kind of combined or did a little hybrid between the Beast and the robot mode. Let me go and rotate this around so you guys see the similarities and differences between both versions. I mean, it's not a bad figure. I mean, if I base it solely on the vehicle mode, I would pass on this figure. But with what they did with robot mode was kind of unique, and I would say it's pretty much worth picking up. Now they have Skullgrin in this robot mode, and on my display table, I just want to go over some of his plate features and accessories first by talking about his blasters. And according to the instructions, there's a way to store his blasters while Skullgrin is in his robot mode. And you do that by turning Skullgrin all the way around. You have this turret on his back. You can mount these cannons from the turret by unplugging it just like that. And just like that. And that's because the turret has 2 portholes right there and right there. So you can take the blasters now and plug them right into the turret. Just like that. And just like that. Now you want to turn Skullgrin all the way around. And on the shoulder you have a porthole right there and right there. You want to take these cannons now. You have a 5mm peg right there. I'll plug it right into his shoulder like that. Take the other cannon, get that 5mm peg, and just plug it right into his shoulder just like that. And now you have all of Skullgrin's weapons stored while he's in his robot mode. But there's also a way to store Skullgrin with all his weapons while he's in robot mode. When you do that by taking these cannons, unpegging them, and on the bottom of these cannons you get that 5mm peg right there, and each one of his fists has a 5mm porthole. You just take each one of these cannons and plug it right into his fist just like that, and just like that. You want to go and take his blasters now and unplug it from the turret just like that, and just like that. You want to go ahead and plug it right into his shoulder now, just like that, and just like that. And now you have Skullgrin fully armed with all of his weapons, which is really cool. I mean, I like that, how that looks on his shoulders. Is really menacing looking. But I'm going to go ahead and take these cannons. I'm going to put them right back into the turret. That's where they're meant to be. And to me, I kind of like to think that it's more a default way of storing these weapons or arming Skullgrin. Because if he was in battle, he could just bend over and shoot him with his cannons, right? I'm going to take these blasters now, unpeg them from his shoulder and put it right into his fist. Just like that. And just like that. And that's probably the way I'm going to display my Skullgrin. It's a very cool figure. And I like what they did with Skullgrin, because if you're a Generation 1 fan, you know that the Decepticon Pretenders were beasts. And on the inside they're little robots. And what they did with the Legacy version of the Pretenders is they took the robot and the shell and they kind of combined it, made it like kind of a hybrid, where it was the beast and the robot were put together in one. And they did a great job with Skullgrin. It's a very cool looking robot mode. I mean, you can see some parts of the Pretender shell, like the belt right here. You got that headpiece right there, and you got the shoulders right there. And even the little thorns on his knees, which carried over from the Pretender shell. You get the purple and black from the robot mode, which I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Generation 1 Skullgrin, do a side-by-side comparison. As you can see, these are some features of the shell in his robot mode, like the skull, of course, which they fully ported over into the robot mode. You got that belt right there with these little thorns on the hip right here, which they did right there. You get the little thorns on the fist, which they did for Skullgrin's fist right there. And you get that thorn on his knee right there, and you get that belt buckle, that skull right there and right there. Very nicely done. I'm going to go ahead and open up Skullgrin. And it's a little bit of a process because he's got this little belt here, but I'm going to go and pull his belt off. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what the robot looks like inside. And it's an older figure, so it's pretty tight. That's the belt. Pop open the shell. Now, it's a unique gimmick with the Generation 1 version of the Pretenders, is they hid little robots in these little shells, which, I mean, to me, looking back at it now, it didn't really have any purpose in doing this, but it was a pretty cool play feature. In order to transform the robot, you just flip the feet out, I mean the shoulders in, now you have a robot. My Pretender's pretty much broken because the blaster peg broke off, and I'm not sure that's the way I purchased him, but I'm going to go ahead and probably pull that out and fix that blaster. But as you can see, by having all three of them side by side, you can see where a lot of the Pretender shell, let me put the belt back on, carried over into the robot mode, and a lot of the robot modes carried over into Skullgrin's robot mode. And what they did is like I said, they blended it in nicely together, where both the shell, there's aspects of the shell and the robot in the Legacy version of Skullgrin, which they did a really great job with it. And I think, you know, if they did not want to go the Pretender route, that's probably the best route, was to combine both the shell and the robot together and give it an alt mode. The alt mode's a little weak, like I showed you guys. I think with the 20 steps transformation, they could have done a better job. And this is one of those few cases where I think the vehicle mode is better than the newer Generations mode that they were able to design from Skullgrin. But I mean, as you can see, they took the features from the head, put it over into Legacy. The shoulder pads, you got that belt right there with the head pads right there, and you got that thorn on the knees. Very nicely done. But then again, you can see a lot of the parts of the robot that ported over into Skullgrin, you know, with the arms the color scheme, you know, just everything else. It's a nice little blend between both the shell, and I like that they incorporated that, and it's a very unique feature with the Pretenders for the more Generations line. I really enjoy what they did, but I'm going to put this off to the side because I want to talk about Skullgrin. And I do like the fact that they took both weapons, the blaster and the sword, and kind of blended it together and made this weapon too. That's just really cool. They did a great job with this figure. I just feel that the vehicle mode was a little weak, and they could have balanced it out more, but was such a great robot mode, and just having a great robot mode alone, to me, I would say this figure is worth picking up just to have Skullgrin, because I mean, I did not really see a lot of Skullgrins on toy shelves. I mean, I did see a couple at Walmart. It was a very hard figure to find, at least in my area, but very cool figure nonetheless. We're going to rotate him around so you can see what it looks like from all angles. If you found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel, and while you're there, click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Red Seal's Awesome Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.